Heroes, gather tribute and earn my favor.
last BlizzCon, the money for those of you who did subscribe via Patreon got a free Gankbush Squad BlizzCon T-shirt, and yeah. So if you can also go to our YouTube channel. There we post the video of the podcast as well as other clips, as well as the Bush League games as well. Also, if you go to gankbushsquad.com, you can find links to all the aforementioned links that I just mentioned, as well as the music that's being played. And again, we're playing a band that I really like a lot called The Brother Kite. Okay, so yeah, Scott, you can see this?
Nope.
He's not even paying attention. All right. I was like, oh, I didn't hear anything from Scott for like a whole minute.
That was Wolverine Scott.
Yeah. Okay. Quick announcements. We're going to have a BlizzCon ticket party on May 9th at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's when the BlizzCon tickets go on sale for the first time. So doesn't BlizzCon, if you get selected, you get to buy 3 tickets? Is that how it works?
It was 4 last year, wasn't it?
Yes. If it's basically a line system, and if you get chosen and to actually purchase a ticket, you could purchase up to 4.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is that if you want to be with us on Discord, we're going to try to work together as a team, and we'll try to get tickets. So if you want to come hang out with us on the first day of BlizzCon tickets, please go to our Discord channel. Okay. Also, Goon Hots, who was on the show last week, did a recap this past Sunday of a game during week 2 of the Bush League, and that is currently available on his YouTube channel. So just do I think if you go to either his Twitch channel or his Twitter, you should find a link to his YouTube channel. And again, he's going to do it again this Sunday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and he'll do a review of the second game, the Team 4 versus Zexorus team, on Sunday. It's actually really, really informative. And I learn a lot every time I go to those, so please check that out. Also, Goon Hots is actually going to be streaming week 4 of the Bush League because Stixa is having computer problems. So we're going to have Goon Hots do the casting for week 4. So go to his Twitch channel on Monday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, for the Bush League. And also tomorrow I'll be the Trolls podcast.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'll be there at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you want to hear the same news, please go.
Is that going to be an interview with the team captain of the #1 ranked team in Bush League?
Oh,
is that
Team
what is
4.
happening?
Well, I was thinking about this the other day. I think if we were going to equate the teams in the Bush League versus the teams in Europe, my team is obviously Team Dignitas, and then you have you have Please Don't Ban Diablo as like the team method that's very up and down, and then you have Team 4 as the Diamond Skin, and then you have FTRB as Zealots. They're really good or really bad. So there you go. So, but anyway, my team is Team Dignitas. Boom.
Well, we all know from Bush League, it seems like your team hasn't really gone that much better. It's played the same level, and the other teams are getting better, I think. So the second iteration of matches, I think, will have a very different outcome.
Says the team that got ran over by my team.
I would say ran over.
Wow.
It was a ran over.
Anyway, so those are the news or the updates that we have. Yeah. I think that's it. Yeah. All right. So we have a good show for you. We're going to talk about the PTR patch. So Deckard Cain is now in the PTR. So yeah. What do you guys like? When I played him a little bit, I was actually underwhelmed by him. But what do you guys think? Let's go to Scott first.
Underwhelmed.
What?
Well, he basically does 0 damage.
Mm-hmm.
He's on par with Anna and Morales for damage. Maybe actually lower.
That's the thing. Like I don't see him doing any damage at all. I think is like in a typical game, his damage will be like less than 10k.
Is
Yeah, he's
no, not really, but there's damage talents in his kit, but you definitely don't want to be taking them. You want to. There's there are
the only
talents in his
damage
kit
he's
that
gonna
make
be
him do.
doing is with his cube and his what's the other
E?
ability called?
Scroll of Sealing.
Yeah, scroll of
Yeah.
sealing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's got a melee attack and he's like super squishy, so maybe you'll melee somebody once in a while when they dive you and then run away, but that's about it.
But I think he's so good at enhancing your teammates that doesn't feel as bad, right? There's a Ancient Blessing at level 13 that basically for 8 seconds gives all your teammates around you like extra AoE damage and healing on auto attacks.
Yeah, it almost seems like a mini
Tracer.
like bloodlust or something.
Yeah. Imagine Tracer 8 attacks a second, and then you can proc that 8 times so she can heal herself, or a Tychus, or a Tassadar.
Yeah, there's definitely gonna be a cooldown putting on that.
Yeah.
I thought from his abilities, the Herodric Cube comboed with the E pretty easily.
Yep.
Granted, there's like a 2.5 second delay for the E to come off. It seems like with just a little bit of help, he's landing like both those abilities. And the range on him is actually not that short. I thought maybe they're going to make him really short to make him more position based, but he's actually got pretty good range on both those abilities.
Do you feel like that that he's going to have like one really good build and that's about it for the most part? Because I think at you're going to cube talents at 1 and 4, and then at 7, either the cube talent or the one that reduces the damage dealt, and then you're gonna go trait build at 13 and 16, and then you just get the perfect gems. Yeah.
And that kind of seems like what the
Well,
popular build is going to be.
Yeah. Well, I guess what I'm saying is that I feel as though that I think he's going to be like Medivh, right? Where that we thought that he's going to be really good, but then like in practice, he's only really good in a small percentage of players.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that. I mean, he can still hit his abilities, I think, with his range, and they synergize really well with a lot of other characters. So I don't really see that.
His
I think
healing
he's
is
gonna be-
overpowered as hell. He can
he can put
5
out a
potions
ton
down.
of healing.
5
I-
potions down in 15 without trait help. So if you're not standing next to somebody, 15 seconds with trait, like what, 12 seconds, 11 seconds ish, and that's more healing than or as much healing as an ancestral, and that's without additional talents.
But I haven't actually played him in game, but does he have mana problems?
He does have mana problems.
All right.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is that my thing is
you're
that
WEing a lot.
Yeah.
So okay, I think we all know that Blizzard tends to release characters that are kind of a little bit OP lately. So I think in about 2 months when he gets nerfed, he's not going to be very good. You know what I mean? Because his kit's not good enough to survive when his numbers are actually in tune properly.
No, his kit's pretty good. He's got
good.
he's got a slow and a root to help set up for kills.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be a lot more map dependent.
Ruby at level 4, the one that makes your Herodric Cube, if it hits heroes, then like each hero hit spawns like smaller potions. And think about the dive potential, like a Maiev diving in, grabbing people, and then you Herodric Cube on top of that, and Maiev gets all that healing.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's also on top of the heroes that are getting hit by the cube. That's so good at enabling, dive characters like that.
Yeah. I guess my thing is that at the lower levels, like it's basically Piano Uther again, right? With all the, because like there's not really a good build outside of the activatables. Outside of level 1 and 4, you have to go the activatables, right? So now you're going to talk about bad players trying to use activatables.
It's not that hard to use, in my opinion.
Well, you're a master player.
Well, I think you got to pick up the Ruby one at 4. I could see.
Yeah.
At number level 1, you pick up the spell power buff from hitting your
field
your
study.
root. I could see that being decent.
What about Scroll of Identity, the one that
That one's
reveals.
garbage. You got hit 20 heroes. You know how long that's gonna take?
I don't think so. If you WE well enough. I mean, you reduce armor by 20 and reveal for 8 seconds or 16
Well,
seconds.
it's armor by
whatever it is.
15
Yeah.
for 4 seconds. That's, I mean, it's pretty good, but I think it's gonna take too long to get.
I guess, but I mean, 20 heroes is not that crazy in my opinion, especially if you have tanks to follow up on your Ws and stuff. But if you want a guaranteed WE combo, you go Sapphire at level 1 that increases the Horager Cube slow by 30%. So that's like a 60-70% slow, I think.
That's the one I thought was.
60%.
There's a guy who's watching us, and his name is Cog Whistle.
Cog
Whistle?
Nice.
I don't know why it makes me laugh. It makes me laugh though. But oh, by the way, totally off topic, but I just remembered it right now. Goon Hotz said today in Discord that he had some weird guy in his mouth. So that's all.
Oh, and the
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what
and
you're
he
talking
paid him.
about.
And he paid him to be in his mouth.
Paid him, yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of money. Dude, puts for a weird guy to be in his mouth today.
What?
Was the experience enjoyable? Is I guess the main
Probably not.
question.
I don't think he enjoyed it.
Probably not, but you never know. He's kind of the guy that would keep it on the down low if he did like it, you know.
Maybe he just wanted someone he actually knew to make it a more personal experience, more
Yeah.
meaningful.
But anyway, sorry. There's a quick little tangent, I guess.
I don't know what context you could say that and it sounds
That's a
normal.
dentist, sir.
Yeah. When-
Dentist, weird man being
I
in
would
his
never
mouth.
say that. Say it like that.
That's what he said today in Discord, so I just quoted him.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
What about the heroics? I think Lornado's actually pretty good.
Yeah, they're both really good. I think the
Yeah, playing
talk
around
and
with
listen. Yeah.
it. How you can cast it. You could cast it and knock people into you. It's not just a defensive tool.
Yeah, and you can it's enough to body block the entire gate if you place it at the entrance, so they can't escape from you.
Right.
And then
It's
you could
big
also
enough
yeah,
that it's a peel. You could stand inside and like melee. People
Yeah.
can't attack you.
thick NATO. That's what I call it. It's
Yeah.
thick boy. But that landing animation is so slow though. I kind of wanted that instant, but it takes a while for that book to land and start spinning. So you kind of have to read your opponents, I guess. But that's, I guess, a part of learning the actual hero. Level 20, perfect gems. Too strong? What do you think?
I think the upgrades to your ultimates are really good. I think
More
they're
NATOs?
actually on
More
respect the
NATOs
elderly.
looks like it's trash.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't
it
know, man.
sounds good, but the fact that it has a half-second cooldown and it only can proc once every half
Mhm.
second. If you land it and you're hitting like 3 people, you're only getting a 5-second reduction. You're only getting 1 stack.
Well, what about the other upgrade? Like where they're blinded and they're
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Here's my
that's
thing. Perfect gems. It's not just by itself. It's add safety in numbers. Level 16 ability. If you're next to 3 allied heroes, you get 10 extra armor, so a total of 20, and you get a 100% total cooldown reduction bonus. So the perfect gems reduces all gems cooldown by 25 seconds, which ends up being 5 seconds per gem, by the way, and the next Horager Cube by 5 seconds. So the Horager Cube goes from 14 to 9, plus safety in numbers. It's and in reality, during a team fight, it's 4.5 seconds for that cooldown. So you're just throwing gems out left and right, and if you get Ruby at level 4, think about all those like lesser healing potions that you're popping on every 5 seconds, on top of a 1.5 second healing potion that you're just throwing out normally.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I guess we all agree that he's kind of OP right now.
In terms of his healing.
His healing
output.
potential seems ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you get to an objective early and you're just able to throw a bunch down so that if you have 5 down before a team fight starts, I don't,
Mm-hmm.
for anything that has to do with like zone control, I don't see how you could lose that objective unless you play terribly.
And it
Well,
doesn't
isn't
take
it-
that long to set up since it's only like 8 to 10 seconds with your trait.
Isn't it kind of bad now? That means like if he's too good, then he'll get banned, right? Like what happened with Phoenix. And
Well,
like
he's
my,
very diveable.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you see him use his Herodric Cube, he's no way to really zone you out except for his Lornado or something. So that is definitely a weakness. I think that old backpack brought up last week.
By the way, they nerfed the cooldowns for both heroics, so it was 60 for Stay a While. It's 75 now, I think. And
Yeah.
Lornado was
70.
40. It's 70.
Yeah.
And then Lornado was nerfed from 30 to 45. So
Okay. Well, okay. So quickly, so if you're playing against him in Team League or Hero League, you just want to dive him, pretty much, and that's it.
Yeah.
well, like my
Just
Yeah,
like
Goji
dive
or something.
would work because I think he's gonna be playing a lot like a Morales or a Anna, where he's gonna be way in the back.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yep.
Yeah, he doesn't have any mobility, no ice block or anything.
So I
Yeah.
guess if you're playing with him, you want like a poke comp, essentially.
No,
you
has
can
pretty
set
good
up dive.
field, but
Yeah.
Loxley asked in chat, what Fringe really wants to know is whether or not he can solo in camp as Deckard Cain.
No, not the hero for you,
Negative.
sir. No.
No,
He might be the worst.
Oh, and he's by far the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
he's
maybe-
better than Morales
Yeah, he's better than
and
Morales,
Anna
yeah.
because he can heal himself.
Yeah.
He's
But-
third worst.
But have you seen that level 20 where Deckard Cain solos a boss by placing 5 healing potions at his feet and he has bottomless flasks?
Yeah, his
Oh.
healing potential is ridiculous.
I haven't seen
Especially
that.
if you take any upgrades to the healing potions.
Wait, how long does that take though?
It's 5 seconds and it recharges, I believe.
I mean, how long does it take for him to take boss?
Oh, like 3 minutes. But all he has to do
Yeah.
is plant 5 potions at his feet, right click, and he doesn't have to move until the boss is dead.
Yeah, but to go back to what Scott said, yeah, I think the healing is overtuned. I think that's not going to last very long. I think if it is overtuned, it's going to take 2 weeks for them to nerf him. So basically, learn him as quickly as possible, and then get him to level 5 and play ranked with him if you can.
And don't spend the 15K to get him because you won't be able to play him.
That's the opposite of what I just said.
What? No, I
That's literally the opposite of what I
it
just
is. It's true. I did the same with Phoenix. I bought him thinking he was cool, then I never get to play him because he's always banned.
Well, if he's if Deckard ends up being always banned, then you can play Phoenix then.
But then I could have just paid 10K after he was insta banned and like not spent the extra 5K.
I mean,
But then right after he got nerfed, you wouldn't have played him at all. So you'd spend a couple weeks trying to learn him.
I want to play him at all anyway. I don't want to play quick match in Phoenix and have some weird game where there's 5 assassins and no healers or something. But so I like him, but I'm not gonna buy him right off the bat.
Okay, so it looks as though that Genji got nerfed pretty hard.
people are
right, so-
saying
saying it's that much of a nerf. It's a change in play style.
Yeah, I like
okay.
it. They did the same thing with Tracer where they're, kind of scaling back the mobility because those two have both had ridiculous mobility and, giving them health and a damage buff to compensate.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't play Genji, so I don't know.
Oops.
Oops. Is that
Oops.
right? Oops.
But anyway, I don't play Genji, so I don't know anything about Genji.
The trend lately has been more of a focus on X Strike. And
Wait. I mentioned that like 2-3 weeks ago. I got shit on for mentioning extra.
That is true. No, well, I think you didn't say X-Strike. You just said Dragon Blade was shit or something.
No, I said extra.
That's what you said. I think you said Dragon Blade was shit, and then everyone's like, "Oh, really? That's not what's
Well,
actually happening."
looks
but
like I was vindicated. I'm vindicated.
Yeah,
Again,
X-Trick has been more and more popular, but yeah, there's a shift in Genji's playstyle, and he's okay. He's still good.
wait. These changes aren't yet live on the live server, right? They're on the PTR only, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're PTR.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Deckard Cain.
But
Or on
Dragon
PTR.
Blade not resetting E on a kill, that had to have happened. And if that means that Dragon Blade does more damage, but you don't get the resets off of Dragon Blade on your E, then I'm completely okay with that.
Same here.
Well, Dragon Blade's getting buffed up to where it was like a month or two ago. It was at 240 baseline, and for like pretty much I think since he came in, and then a month or two ago they nerfed it to 220, and that's when X-Strike started becoming popular again.
Yeah.
And I like this change too because they're actually addressing the problem with Genji and why people don't like playing against him. It's the resets in his way to bounce out after a kill. That's
Yeah,
pretty much it.
there's got to be some sort of repercussion or counterplay for diving, not just, hey, I played really well and dove in and, Dragon Blade this guy to death and I get a free escape. Like, if you want to go in, you better, make sure you're committed to it, not just dive in, get a kill, and jump out for free.
Exactly.
And
Unless
for
you're
those
Zero
that
Tool.
still want that reset, it's at level 20. You can get Dragon Becomes Me. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, and his range on the Swift Strike got reduced too.
14 to 12. It's a significant nerf, but it's not like crazy. It's still a long range.
15% less.
Okay. All right. So also Blaze and Zagara, basically they got changes to their gameplay of their ultimates. So the bunker and for the Nidus network, they both allow you to exit through right clicking on a certain area. Right.
Yep.
It's almost like somebody was listening to our podcast a couple weeks ago when we were talking about that.
Yeah, Stixa brought it up. Friend of the podcast and Bush League caster said that on the show.
And it's almost not like I had like a 5-minute rant about it.
What? Is that when you were a diamond though? 'Cause that doesn't really count.
Oh,
What?
if we're gonna follow that logic through the end, that means nothing you say matters on the show.
No. No.
Huh?
3-0.
You started
3-0. 3-0.
3-0. 3-0. Okay, there you go.
My team is Team Dignitas. Yeah, there it is. Let's just have that up. Let's just have that up the entire time.
All right.
Just keep that up. All right. So Tyler Baron wanted to ask: is Phoenix in a good spot? His win rate is 55%. Does he need more nerfs? Is he? So Tyler Baron, what do you think about Phoenix?
I still think he's almost where he needs to be. Just another slight nerf. I have actually been in games where he isn't first banned, and he isn't as OP as before. And also in the Bush League game where Team 4 was able to get Phoenix, they ended up not winning. So not to say that wasn't because Phoenix wasn't OP, but he's not as strong as he used to be. I think it's almost there. I think he's set for maybe one more round of nerfs to maybe his attack damage again. Maybe like a few percent.
Phoenix is in a great spot. I love it. Phoenix is in a great spot, in my opinion. Now,
No, he's in an okay spot. He's okay, but just almost there.
what do you mean?
He's
He
almost
needs to
Is
be
that
nerfed more.
Yeah, a little bit more to his attack damage.
I don't know. He doesn't seem to hit nearly as hard anymore.
Well, you still see his win rate still pretty high, even though it's been down, I think, significantly, like several percent. But
I think maybe
Down
like
by
a
10%.
5% HP nerf might do it.
yeah,
HP nerf or shield nerf?
Both.
Oh, Goon Hots in chat says bacon is the new salad. Jake confirmed.
I
what?
make it
That's
good though.
supposed to mean.
I actually know what I'm doing in the program I use, so I'm not just fucking fiddling around. I make it seamless as possible.
Hasn't Saul Jake been doing stuff like that for like years more than you, and he still doesn't know how to do it?
He doesn't know what buttons to press to do what he wants. I don't know what the
Apparently, yeah.
He's a professional producer too. He should know this shit, but he's like, I don't know. Too many buttons, I guess.
Mm. Yeah, well, he can go fuck himself. All right, let's move on.
Whoa.
Wow.
Anything
Well,
else on Phoenix?
You good?
I mean,
First
Yeah.
first
Seems
ban
alright.
still. First ban.
I'm not worried about playing against him.
Hmm.
I mean,
Okay.
his auto
Yeah.
attacks don't hurt you unless you have somebody to help set up your Q. I don't think he does that much damage. And he almost doesn't really feel like he has an ultimate because it's not useful in the middle of team fights.
If he's
because
able to just stand there in Q range and just do what he wants, yes, obviously you deserve to lose. But if you have access to Phoenix, then he's popped. Like
Yeah, he's pretty squishy.
Varian taunt with level 13 Shield Buster, whatever that talent is. Like he doesn't have a shield if you play as Varian against them. You E into him, then you use the Shield Buster. He has no shield. You taunt him. That way he can't use Blink to get out, and then he's dead. Congratulations.
So I have a question for Fringe. Tower Baron Squared banned Phoenix first on Monday. Why was that?
Why did your team ban Phoenix?
Your team.
Why did I ban Phoenix?
Yeah, Tower Baron Squared, your team.
Yeah.
They banned Phoenix.
We banned Phoenix because that's what the team wanted to do. And we were prepared for what you were going to do, and we countered you pretty hard. So, yeah, I was ready to go.
But, I mean, do you still think Phoenix was that big of a threat?
I think that the Planet Cracker got buffed, and then I could see a team fight in one of the lanes where he gets tremendous value. And we didn't want to give you the opportunity to have one OP ultimate cheese a win out of us. So we said, nope, let's just get rid of Phoenix.
I see. It's sort of like Hinterlands Blasts, whatever, with Planet Cracker.
Oh, that could have happened, but we banned out Falstad too. So,
Yes, you did.
but yeah, I don't know. No, I just that we just didn't want to deal with them, and like there's no one really like your team. There's no really OP character that you guys play, so we just used it as a meta ban, essentially.
All right.
I don't know. Does that answer your question?
I thought maybe you thought he was still OP since you banned him first on your team.
Oh no, it was just more like meta ban. I mean, it was the team actually wanted it, I think. So I actually didn't really care what the first ban was.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, I thought you would have banned Diablo, but
No, I'm not really worried about Diablo on that map.
all right.
Yeah, there's no value from Diablo when you guys on that map. So, yeah, that's why we chose the map. But anyway, anything else on Phoenix?
Yeah, Blemsy says, "Fuck you guys and your bans."
Sounds like a sore loser.
Well, definitely the four-man loss. So, anyway,
There was a 4-man. All right. Yeah. All right. Moving on, I guess. So there was an AMA on Reddit with the HOTS developers, and there was some cool information that was shared from them. One of them was that they're going to add a third ban to the game. So my question is,
Yay.
what?
Yay.
hey.
Oh,
Yay.
okay. So where should the ban go? Should it be in the front? Should it be in the middle? Because initially they proposed it to be in the middle, but it seems like there's a lot of traction to put it at the front. I personally believe it should be at the front. You have 2 bans in each team to start drafts, and then you have a middle ban after that.
Me too. I agree.
I also agree with that, only because these heroes come out and sometimes they're OP.
On
Yep.
paper, a middle draft sounds better, because you get to react to what the initial picks are. But in HOTS, there are so many goddamn annoying heroes that even if it's first or second pick, the draft is already so influenced by those, OP picks, so to say. Just to ban them out in the beginning of the game, right? In my opinion.
I'd say the middle provides too much counterplay if you have 2 bans on each side. There's a big enough hero pool to have, 6 bans, but if you're having 2 in the middle, usually if you see somebody set up, it's like, okay, there's maybe like 3 threats that the enemy team we think are going to pick, and we're going to say, okay, we're going to eliminate, one of these threats and ban it. But being able to ban 2, that kind of can really restrict and kind of, I guess I'd say just restrict how drafts are played out.
And do you think it should be one side bans, and then back to you for 1 ban, and then the other side, or just 2 at once? 2 at once, and then 2 at once.
No, one alternate.
Yeah,
It's too much
1,
time.
2, 1, maybe.
2-2 and then first pick. 2
Yeah,
bans.
2-2.
first pick.
What they could do, to be honest, they just do the pre-bans before they go live.
No,
Just say, hey.
This is talking about Hero League too.
Oh, you're talking about
Yeah.
Hero League. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. This is adding an extra minute to the draft potentially.
that's okay. I think it's okay. I think.
Draft's already so long though. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
play Hero League, so doesn't really bother me.
And if you
Drafts
put it,
in a
Well,
30
that's
minute
gonna
Hero League
come
game,
up in
10 minutes
Bush
after the
League
draft.
as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna be in any league, any game that has a draft.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I think you should just alternate. If it makes it like 2 minutes longer, then it makes it 2 minutes longer. I don't have a problem with that.
No, I have a problem with that. You mean?
I mean,
The very start.
first ban in Hero League is 1 minute, and the next ban is 30 seconds.
30.
What if?
Yeah.
What if it's? I mean, I
30
can see if
seconds
it's
each?
30, 30,
That's,
30, 30.
that's gonna add another 30 seconds only, right? Because you're gonna have
I
one
guess
side
so.
probably ban 1, the other side ban 2, and the first side bans 1. That's how I'd see it playing
that's
out.
interesting.
Oh, 1-2-1.
1-2-1. Interesting.
Okay, that works.
Yeah.
So you'd have the first pick team gets the second banning phase.
I knew
I
you were
mean,
masters for a reason. That's a good idea.
Ah.
Boom. The talent is always correct.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
And don't you
But-
think if they had the second one in the middle, it would make the first hero pick team a little bit stronger because they would get more heroes in before that second ban phase.
I don't know, like
It would make it a little bit more powerful for having first pick.
It's too strong. Like if you don't draft like a support or a tank in the first half of the draft, it's very easy
Exactly.
to choke those.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I've always been in favor of asking the HEC players what do they want. Whatever it is
They
they
all
want.
want
just
first
put-
ban.
Yeah.
Their games are different though, totally different because they study their opponents and what they play. When you play
But-
Hero League, you don't have
the
a
third-
clue what anyone's playing. It's outside of a Bush League thing.
But the third bans are for them. They're not really for us, right? That's for them, right?
No, I want third bans. So if there's an OP,
No, the third, it's all trickle down economics, right? The third bans are gonna trickle down to
Oh,
us.
man.
And,
I want a third ban.
Wait. When Bacon said trickle down economics, Blemish got a big boner when he heard that.
but yeah, most of the pros on Twitter seem to be wanting first bans instead of mid bans.
Now, did they say for what specific reason? Is it just because there's meta heroes that they want to ban, and then other, character specific to their opponents they're playing?
Probably. Like, let's say old Roll20, you can be like first ban Maya, Medivh, and then first ban Diablo, like, bam,
Yep.
right?
Okay. All right. Well, anything else about the bans? All right. So they're also going to add new roles. I mean, they're actually going to have, tank, bruiser, support, healer, melee, range assassin as the 6 new roles. That's coming up somewhat soon.
So what are they doing about specialists?
So they said that they're gonna, like Nazebo's kind of like an assassin, Zagaro's kind of like an assassin, so they're gonna do that. But there are some characters that are kind of weird, like the Vikings. Like, where do you put them? Yeah. So, but
what
they
about
said
for the actual unique characters like Abathur and Vikings? Why not just keep specialist, since they're literally special in their
exactly.
design?
What do you call them? Trolls.
I mean, stick Zul'jin in there too, I guess.
Gazlo,
Yeah, Gazlo. I think he's considered a ranged assassin.
He's a ranged assassin.
Ranged? He's melee.
He's got melee attack.
I don't know what you mean ranged.
Oh no!
I think he's mostly a ranged assassin.
But his turrets are ranged.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
and he has a laser beam that's ranged.
I don't think you can call him ranged with all the heroes that have come out in the last year or so that have super long ranged attacks. His turret range, he still feels much like a melee character.
Well, maybe we'll do a poll and ask everyone. But is Gazlo a ranged assassin or a melee assassin?
I can make
melee assassin.
Yeah, I think that's rubbish. But anyway. Okay, so they also talked about changes to quick match team comps. So basically what they said is that they're going to strictly enforce role compositions for each match. A team will not be constructed without a balanced team comp on its own. That means that assassins and specialists may potentially have longer queue times, while tanks and healers may have shorter ones, which I think is a good idea in theory. So also it's going to result in maybe longer queue times overall for players, but the quality of matches should be better.
Well, it depends. If you're a tank or a healer, I think it's going to be fairly quick.
Well, that's a good thing, right? Because maybe it will incentivize people to play healer and tank more.
Yeah. Hopefully they fix the draft. Or go ahead.
The QM queues, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. This is what they did in World of Warcraft. The population for damage assassins are so high, and there are no tanks or healers, that when you queue in, they give a special goodie bag for those populations that are low, and
like a gold bonus.
Yeah, like a gold bonus or extra tokens for whatever you want to purchase. But
what
if you're a tank? If you're a tank and you queue in, almost insta queue, and it incentivizes those classes to queue more.
This is bullcrap. There's already people who voted in that straw poll that you put in Discord chat, and there's 5 people that say he's a melee assassin. I'm the only one that says that he's ranged.
Really? Well, how are you going to range it up with Robo Goblin there, huh?
You can range it up with the turrets and the W ability.
The only person that's kind of on the fence is Stukov, because you can talent for a ranged ability.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Or Greymane is range / melee.
No, Goon, he's not melee. He's not melee. All right.
What does his attack say?
He's a ranged assassin.
He's a multi-class mage.
First of all, he's not ranged or an assassin. He's not an assassin.
All right.
He's a piece of shit. That's what he is.
But what I will say is that to have more somewhat traditional team comps for quick match is going to be good for drafts, for unranked or drafting in unranked and in ranked play. It should help, I think. Hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully they fix the matchmaking, because I mean, I know they're going to set the roles, but there were many times where I'd queue up in quick match, and you queue up as an assassin. It's oh, there's a 90% chance I'm going to have a all assassin game. But then you queue up as a healer, and all of a sudden there's 4 healers in the game. And it's just why aren't these healers getting split up with all those assassin games, So
well, yeah. What I was suggesting to Fringe before the show was that there's a little slider that goes from 0 to 10, and you can sort of configure how long you want to wait. The longer you wait, the better the matchup. Lower the number, the quicker the queue time. So you can say, I just want to play a game. I don't care who it's against. I got some steam to let off for. So like, I actually want to practice this character, but I can't play him in like ranked yet or something.
Four specialists, and all their accounts are under level 50. You did the 1 out of 10 on the value slider. Sorry, dude. Instant match. And one of them's an AI player.
Well, at least you get some control over it.
No, he's botting. It's not an actual AI.
Yeah.
So you got no control.
Is Cho'Gall melee or ranged assassin?
Cho is melee, Gall is ranged.
Yeah,
Let's
it's two.
Well, what is he?
Heroes.
They're two different heroes. One's melee, one's ranged.
Well, so's Gazlowe. It's the same thing. All right.
No.
Anyway, all right. I'm
Skip
probably
it
on an
up.
island. I'm reading the
let
chat.
it
I think
go.
I'm like on an island about this.
If you're saying the Robo Goblin, the robot on top of Gazlowe is a different person, then you are wrong. Robots aren't people.
It's sentient. That robot is
think so.
sentient.
Sentient? Isn't he holding controls that he's controlling the robot on top of
He's
him?
got
in
two
his hand?
fucking joysticks that he's
It has
holding.
Are you kidding me?
It has
The,
sentient.
the former Gazlowe main has never seen this?
No. Like the robot is called Chappie. It's sentient.
What? The robot has a name, Chappie.
It's Chappie. It's sentient.
Okay.
Anyway, all right. Okay. Also, Arena rework is coming. Okay,
Yay.
that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Details.
Anna's gonna get a change probably.
Yeah.
Relatively
What
soon.
kind
so
of
that's
change?
good. Where she can self heal. Probably.
She already can self heal.
The W's not that much, and the
Yeah.
little shots, whatever, that gives you nothing.
Mhm.
Practically nothing.
But a rework is coming or at least a change in her kit is coming for Anna, so that's cool. It's actually good. I'm actually looking forward to the Anna rework or changes more because I think she's actually a really good. On paper, she has the kit to be a really good healer, but right now, she needs a tweak to some of her
Auto
abilities.
attack.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but yep.
Oh, some things, some other highlights. Giraffe swaps. Probably not coming anytime soon.
Yep. That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, you have draft swaps if you play in tournament style custom games, which is great.
And if you are a first-time account going into Hero League, the max that you can place is Platinum 5, I believe. No matter what.
Oh, even if you're smurfing.
Yes. And then you have to climb up. And then, obviously, they'll use that seed from that season and then you can place into Masters the next season. But the first account placement for Hero League is definitely going to be hard capped no matter what. And if you play a lot of Hero League, apparently upcoming soon, that you might not have to even play one or up to one game of placements next season, depending on how many games you played the previous season.
That was a good solution to what French was saying before about playing massive amounts of Hero League and then potentially losing your rank with some overemphasized placement matches. I think it's a really creative solution to solve that problem.
Yeah,
Yep.
They said they're more or less just going to place you almost at the exact same rank where you were last season. It's just a continuation of where you were. And,
Yeah, no, I agree. That's
great.
That's awesome. Yeah, if you play 100 games, you're probably where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And
And
anything else?
yeah, rank decay. They said they
yeah.
are wanting rank decay.
Where's old backpack?
Did we talk about that last show, or am I wrong about that?
We did, but now there's actual.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But we don't know the specifics,
over
like
that.
at what rank decay starts and how
I think,
much and how long you have to wait.
I think
before
it's
it
only for the
starts
higher
doing it.
levels.
Probably.
I watched the Nupkex did a deep dive into all this stuff, and I think he said it's only for the higher levels. Like anyone above plat or higher, they'll get the rank decay, but everyone else below that won't.
I think in Overwatch it starts at diamond. Yeah. So it's gonna be probably something similar. And Soken in chat says literally copying League of Legends, very creative, Kappa. I mean, if it works, it works, right? Shit.
I mean, you need rank decay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who, don't play for a while and come back, and when you're played at the same rank, you're obviously gonna be rusty because you haven't played in a while, and it just doesn't make sense to not have it in the game.
Yeah, like I was playing like a few days ago. I was playing with the Windtimer, who hasn't been on Windtime for a while because he's been playing other games, and it was very very. He definitely needs rank decay or MMR decay because he had no idea what the builds were or that Tyrael got reworked or anything. So I totally agree with the MMR decay.
I mean, even for a player like me who invests a shit ton of time into this game, like I also, it's a meme, but I dipped into Diamond for a reason because I didn't play a lot of Hero League and I played a lot of casual unranked games or quick match games, and those are two different play styles. So it took me a while to acclimate back into the Hero League style of play and get, grind back up.
You mean not play sloppy.
Yeah, not play sloppy.
How the hell did I call out Goon? In chat, Goon says that I called him out. What did I call him out? For the guy, putting stuff in your mouth. Is that why I called you out?
I don't know.
Oh, he's just kidding.
All right. I was actually kind of confused. Oh, okay. Okay. I lost my train of thought.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Also, what was that system called? The thing that takes your stats and compare it to other performance-based matchmaking rating.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
They're not doing it for the Masters players.
Yeah, because they shouldn't.
Yeah.
I think Goon was saying that like there are grandmasters that have like less than 50% win rates, but they just keep getting points just for playing a lot. If you play a lot, you just get a lot of points.
Yeah.
Right. Which is kind of defeats
anybody who was over like 1,000 points last season, you basically get like 30 points given to you every game. Whether you win or lose.
Yeah, that's bad. That shouldn't happen.
The inflation this season is off the charts. Grubby has 10,000 points in Hero League right now, and that's not enough for Grandmaster.
But he is Grandmaster now, right? I think I saw a stream where he is Grandmaster, right?
Heroes of the Storm leaderboards.
Mm.
Yeah.
But 10,000 points is barely enough for a Grandmaster right now at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the whole inflation thing is out of control for the higher ranks. I was looking at earlier today, the top ranked person has 17,000 points. And I'm not sure what they finished out last season. I'm not sure if anybody hit 10,000 points last season.
Yeah, Dignitas Snitch has 21,000 points.
Oh, that's Blemish's favorite HEC player is Snitch. He loves Snitch. He drinks his bath water.
Nice.
Okay. Anything else?
All these changes seem great and amazing. When can we get them though? A lot of these things. They've said a lot of these things already. Where is it?
It sounds good in theory, but I'll believe it when it's actually live and it's working properly.
True.
At this point, to me, this is like a girl with a really cool Tinder profile.
Here we go. Where someone.
And then when you actually meet her, you're like, oh, wait, those pictures are like 5 years old.
Someone's bringing up old burns.
And then they break into your house when you're playing HOTS, and then they're actually they don't get it why you're mad at them for breaking into your house.
This story's hilarious, and I don't see a correlation to what we were talking about.
I know, right? What the fuck?
It was entertaining.
Why the fuck are you in my house?
I'm
Oh my
playing
God.
Hearts right now. Leave.
Yeah, God, that was probably
Get
like
out of
the,
here.
like that was like the low point of my 2018 easily. Without even, oh God,
Not
and
not
then you
even
have-
4 months into it, huh?
yeah, and then you have like Hero Physio just trolling the entire time as I'm freaked out. But all right, let's get past that. All right, anything else on the AMA stuff?
Great for them to on doing it. I mean, that's I mean, they just had PAX East where they announced Deckard Cain. They packed up all their shit, fly back to California, and then immediately do this AMA. So kudos to them, and thank you for reaching out to the community.
Okay,
But
all right,
fucking
so-
give it to us already. Holy shit, please. We've been waiting for some of these features ever since, like, what, 2015? Come on.
That's before the show was a show.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so let's move on to the draft analysis of the Bush League. So, for those of you who are listening for the first time, we have a Bush League where we have 4 teams, and we play every Monday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Monday. And we're going to review the drafts for both teams, or for both games. And we're going to do the first one where the map is Sky Temple, and the blue team, the red team,
Sky
Temple? Is it Infernal Shrines or is it Sky Temple? Yeah, Sky Temple.
Oh.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Oh, this
So-
isn't this week's. This is okay.
Yeah, this was when Phoenix was still OP.
Wait.
Okay, so we have to mention that then. We have to mention it.
Wait.
Oh, we did that already.
Wait, this is 2 weeks ago, right? Did I not update the thing?
I think it's not updated.
Oh, it's not updated. I didn't update this. I forgot to update it. Oh, my bad on that one.
I think we did this last week, but I remember
we
that.
did this. I'm so sorry about that.
Fake news. All right, let's leave. Let's leave this segment. God, what a fail.
No. We can still do the segment. We just don't have the visuals. We can still do the segment.
How about we just explain it while
Dude.
Bacon works on the visuals?
I'm not
I
sure. Did
remember
we
the
get
draft.
to draft analysis last week?
We did.
We did.
Yeah.
Every week of the Bush League, we've been doing it for that week's matches. But I remember the
Yeah. So let's
first 2.
yeah. When I was reading out the draft, I was like, wait a minute, I've seen this before. This is not.
I saw. No, you said Sky Temple. Like we didn't play on Sky Temple. No one played Sky. But
Yeah. All right. So okay. So this is the draft. So so it's Dragonshire game 1. The
the red team has
red team has Diablo, Stukov, Hanzo, Kael'thas, and Brightwing. So again, Dragonshire, Diablo, Stukov, Hanzo, Kael'thas, and Brightwing. And the blue team, the friendly team, the best team, has Greymane, ETC, Rhaegar, and Junkrat. So again, Greymane, ETC, Rhaegar, and Junkrat. So what is a good 5th pick for the blue team? Let's go to we'll go to Bacon. Or,
well,
let's
he's
go-
working.
Let's
he's
go.
working.
Let's go to Tyburn. Let's go to Tyburn.
Yeah. Wait. Where is the draft? Type it up.
All right, all right.
Want me to type it out in chat
Yeah.
or in Skype?
Give it to me somewhere.
Give it to you. I'll give it to you, Bacon.
Well, I guess I'll talk then while
Yep.
Fringe types that in. Obviously, the blue team needs a solo laner for top lane on Dragonshire to cover up that top points. So they need like a Leoric, a Sonya, Malthael, or someone like that who can solo well, while the other 4 kind of rotate mid, bottom, and then fight over the bottom shrine. The other team has the global in Brightwing, so Brightwing can kind of jump in, so they have to kind of watch out for the engages on the opposite tower. So I think like almost any pick from the red team for their solo is going to be much stronger than the solo for the other team, because they don't have a strong solo player outside of Brightwing. So I think that's definitely what they need to take advantage of that top points and get objective control. So someone who can who's a strong solo laner.
Well, I think the red team has no way to stop. See, the problem is this with the red team's draft is that on Dragonshire, the solo lane is extremely important, and you don't have a solo laner.
That's true. That's true. The red team doesn't have a strong solo laner, but with the global as the solo laner, they can always make the bottom rotations a 5v4 at any point. And I think if that team is able to push well enough, there is some counterplay. But I think definitely the blue team is going to want a stronger solo laner to contest that weakness in the lack of solo laners for the other team.
Yeah, so for those in the chat, Ghost Bear and Goon, that Dehaka was banned.
Dehaka is really, I think, probably one of the best picks, because Dehaka will out solo Brightwing, or KT, whoever they send solo for that map, and also has a global to counter that. So,
all right, well, what do you think, Scott?
Well, first things first, I'd say that the red team failed that draft. They didn't draft a solo laner, as we already mentioned, and for you got Diablo as a tank, and you got 4 ranged that are not able to really assist him very well when he dives to pump out that burst damage. In order for Hanzo and KT to, put out decent damage, they've got to be standing pretty close to Diablo before he charges, and that's not necessarily the safest spot to be, because you're exposing yourself to the enemy team's poke damage and whatnot, and those 2 heroes are somewhat squishy.
Yeah.
So I don't, no matter what the blue team chooses, as long as they choose a solo laner, I don't see how they could lose. But I'd go with Leoric for the blue team. He has the Wraith Walk so that you could dive the back line if you want and get into him off. You have the Life Drain for Diablo to put some pressure on him for the front line so he feels squishy. That'd be my pick.
And Bacon, I put in the draft for the next game in Twitch chat. Just FYI.
I'm not making that.
Okay. All right. Never mind. All right. But anyway, so So Leoric would be a good fit here as well. I think
any solo laner, Thrall, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think Leoric wouldn't really be the best because the 2 supports on the other team have good disengages. So
I think what the red team should be doing is just having 4-man bot and just sieging that and trying to use the double support to have tremendous sustain.
Yeah, I think that was the only chance, was that if they were able to, I guess, have a strong push bottom at some point, and then maybe they get some value off of losing the top, because you can't concede the top lane or the solo lane and lose the 4-man. You're going to have to, if you're going to lose top, then you have to get the bottom.
Another thing that was discussed in Bacon's analysis today, because he did a
wait, making that public.
Oh, fuck yeah, it's public now. All right, so but he did a replay with Tyrebrand's team, and
I thought, okay.
Bacon said that that team was very execution based in order to get any value out of that team comp, and in order to do that type of draft or to be successful, you have to have really good coordination, and
Well, like Scott said, the execution for Diablo's follow-up has to come from the CC on Hanzo's. I'm assuming he goes the arrow, the stun arrow, and Stukov's silence, right? So Pretty much
either
the-
that, or you have the Brightwing teleport in and Emerald Wind to get the isolation kill on one target.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's very execution based, as in, like, the timing has to be very, very well, like, it has to be very precise. Whereas Junkrat, I think, on the other team can just kind of throw out his grenades, has his disengage with the mines, and it's a lot easier to play.
Ghost Bear says Lily for the blinds. I don't really see that.
Lily on which team?
The friendly the blue
No.
team.
That's a terrible idea. Who are you gonna try and blind? Hanzo, the most important target you want to blind, who's out of blind range? No.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not going to be that close. His range is, like, he's not going to be that close. And if he does get that close, he can jump away. He's
Yeah.
going to be poking a lot.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know what to say. Like, so the pick that the blue team made was Mateo, and Mateo had a dandy old time in the top lane.
That is true. That's
So
true.
yeah. So
Although from the replay, it wasn't as much of a stomp until the later game, post 13.
well, that's how the Dragon Shire works. You keep leaning on them, and then eventually the dominoes will fall. That's how the map works.
To a certain extent, I think the certain globals, maybe not necessarily Brightwing, because it's not a true global. They can kind of delay that a little bit, but
Mhm.
but I think
Yeah.
Dehaka is probably the ideal pick.
Yep.
Yeah.
At least any solo laner. That's
Mhm.
pretty straightforward.
Yep. All right. So the next game was on Infernal Shrines, and the blue team went Phoenix, Greymane, Lucio, Sonya, and Diablo. So again, Phoenix, Greymane, Lucio, Sonya, and Diablo. And the red team went ETC, Stukov, Cassia, Li Ming. So again, ETC, Stukov, Cassia, and Li Ming on Battlefield of Eternity. So what's the fifth pick? Let's go to Bacon. Or Scott. Or Terry Brand.
I wouldn't mind a Tassadar.
Oh.
Interesting.
He's got good wave clear for the solo lane, and he gives Cassia the hyper carry status.
Oh, wow. Okay. I can't really see the task. Like, who does Tassadar empower? The ETC?
No, he empowers Cassia.
Oh.
Yeah, Cassia's the hyper carry, I think, here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Okay.
so
okay,
that she could
okay.
poke all day. Because
Yeah.
if she doesn't poke very well, you're gonna enable that Phoenix to do what he wants, and he's just gonna do a shit ton of damage.
Ah, okay. Yeah. What if like he had like another tank, like a Blaze?
Or Tannis with his, his area blind to take out Phoenix's auto attacks and Rayman's auto attacks.
It seems as though that the blue team has better race than the red team when it comes to the chunking down the immortal.
Yeah, so I was thinking Artanis.
Well, I mean, you don't have to chunk down the immortal. You can actually just kill them, right? You can have a team come that says, "I don't care about the immortal. We'll just kill the enemy team and then get the immortal." Right?
Wait, say it again.
So, I think this is something here Physio said before, but like, if you're on BOE, you could have a team comp that is really good at racing the immortal.
Yeah.
Then you can also have a team that's really good at team fighting, right? So you can just kill them, and then get the advantage that way, and then you get the immortal after you kill them,